My speech is about how to overcome difficulties. And so, good morning. My name is Nakam. And so, I wasn't sure if I can deliver useful messages to you. I think my life is too bit short, and less dynamic compared to other people who wrote famous speech. But however, it is a famous quote that we can write the book on every single person's life. So I thought, why not? My life must have something useful and meaningful. So here I am telling my kind of useful experience and something useful and meaningful. Last year, there was a time when I lost my every interest on schoolwork because I didn't get the point of studying. I went to school every day, but I did not pay any attention to teachers, and I didn't even try to get a good grade. I pretended to be studying in front of the teachers and parents. The wasted period lasted for 3 months. My story is about how I overcome the difficulties and the first difficulties in my 16 years, and how I found my grade. So the first story about learning a language in a different country. I was not in American Embassy School last year, but another school in India. Before to begin this, I will tell you why I moved to India. My father works in a company. He decided to move to India to educate me and my brother, despite the hard work he will get. I realized, I wasn't the best English student in Korea, but since when I had to deal with real foreigners, I realized that my English is terrible. I did not understand most of the class. It was obvious that my grades stayed in D or C in the standard, except the subject art, P, and math. I could not make many English-speaking friends because I could not communicate with them. And those English-speaking friends were not interested in Korean strangers. So my dad always asked me in the dinner table that, how's your school like? How is your school like? And I couldn't say that my school was really terrible and I really want to go back to Korea. I spent few months like that. But one thing changed, and I started to like my EAL class, English class. The teacher was American, and the teacher did not treat me as a new Korean girl who doesn't speak English well. Most of the teachers were concerned of my language skill and asked me, are you able to understand this? And they did it with a good purpose, but that made me feel like I am the person who doesn't understand the simplest thing in the world. So that eventually dropped my confidence in English. However, as I started to gain interest in English lesson and tried to speak out rather than sitting quietly, I realized school isn't that terrible place. Surprisingly, I thought my English was slightly getting better since I tried to learn something. I could make differences if I changed my mindset and how I decided to work. I decided to work passionately, and I decided to make difference in my mind in terms of learning. Now, speaking English is not so fearful to me. Moreover, I feel like I can overcome tougher difficulties since I overcome the troubles in learning language. So the second story is about developing talent. I mentioned that the art was one of the few subjects that I was able to get A without struggling. Frankly speaking, I kind of did a better job in art than most of the students in my age. If I have to pick one subject that I think I have talent, it will be art. Getting career related to art will be beneficial to me. Nevertheless, these days, art is the useful talent to live a life easier, which means that only doing great job in art, then I cannot go to college. I need to develop other useful talent. Therefore, whether I like it or not, learning math was essential to me. In Korea, getting good grade in math is really important. The problem was that I am terrible at math. I complained. My brain wasn't born as like good mathematician. I am not talented in math at all. Unfortunately, Korean math is really difficult. I was sent to tuition. Most of the math academy in Korea pushes students really hard. It was such a place where people forced to understand and practice. That was the first time I ever went to such a place. I struggled so much. I sometimes thought I would rather die than struggling in the tuition. When I reached home after 3 hours of studying, I fell to the bed like wet clothes, if you know what I mean. But strangely, as I studied hard and suffered, my marks suddenly improved. I realized if I make an effort extremely hard, then there is nothing I cannot accomplish. The reason I did not get good grade on math was because I didn't make enough effort to get a good grade on it. Some of my friends get a good credit, although they do not study as hard as me. I complained of not having talent at math. However, complaining is not a way to overcome the difficulties, but making an effort. If you're not satisfied with your job, although you did make an effort, then try harder. There's nothing impossible you cannot accomplish. So the third story about realizing my dream. I mentioned that the art was my favorite subject. And back to the first story, I still did not have many good friends in my old school. And my grades stayed at C. Better than B, but not enough to be a good student. So I tried to get a good grade and make many friends. However, it was failure to improve my school life. Frankly speaking, I did not try as hard as I can. I was still a person who only complains. But overlapping failure made people to lose interest in everything. One day, I decided to just give up. Once I gave up, the things were so free and easy. My mind felt a little guilty of wasting time and money, but I tried to ignore that. Wasting 3 months in that mindset was the most stupid thing I've ever done. One day, we got clay session because new pottery art teacher came. I had not had opportunity to try pottery art in Korea. The teacher taught us the techniques and clay. It is hard to find the word how I felt in the first clay session. I might say that it was really awesome. The time went too slow waiting Wednesday and Friday, the time when I had art. I researched how to, I thought and came up with the idea to go to clay room in the lunch break. Eventually getting job related to pottery became my dream. I researched how to accomplish my dream in order to go to good college. I researched how to accomplish my dream in order to get a good college leads to my dream job. I have to get really good grade at school, and that motivated me to study. I finally got the point of studying. It was not easy to catch up the class I wasted. However, my plan for dream is still in progress. Getting a dream is the strongest motivation. In order to find the dream, try as many work as you can. there will be something you're like and good at. The message I want to deliver in those three stories are that my first story was about learning a different language. If you change your mindset, if you change your attitude toward difficulties, you can make differences in terms of everything. My second story was about developing talent. Everything is possible if you make hard, enough effort. My third story was about getting a motivation, which is, well, in my case it was dream. Try to find your dream if you lost a reason of your doing something, a motivation. So I want to end this speech with the quote that every person on this planet has a story. Thank you.